Why are we getting caught up in aesthetics so much? And why are we worried so much about our weight? Or why are we trying to search for the next modality to heal us more than this one that's available to us? You know what I mean? I use sort of movement as a way of articulating something that's quite sort of ineffable, really. It's quite difficult to explain in words, but it's more of an experiential exposure through movement to something that taps into some deeper sensibilities about who we are and what we're connected to and what we're missing, how we're struggling with a lot of different anxieties that we're not quite sure where they originate from. I think just moving and exposing ourselves in nature and using our bodies is an amazing tool. It's our house, it's our home, and it's a great tool that's there for us to utilize. So why are we not doing that? Primal Movers is both a philosophy and an experience of physical practice. Really a continuation of that playfulness we experienced as children. The idea of being free in our natural surrounds, being free in our bodies, being uninhibited by any conditions that may restrict what it is that we feel and what it is that we wish to express through our bodies. And really bringing that joy, that natural energy that we have as children back into our natural day-to-day practice, using nature, using what's found in our environment. The origin story of Primal Movers started more than a decade ago when I was living in the Western Pacific, the island archipelago of Solomon Islands, conducting ethnographic fieldwork there, working and living with young Solomon Islanders and watching their athleticism being played out in unique natural settings, free from any rules, free from any regulations, as hunters, as fishermen, as gardeners, and as athletes as well. People just moved in harmony with the landscape, the way that they climbed, the way that they ran, the way that they jumped, the way that they swam. It became a very harmonious experience to not only to observe, but then subsequently to practice myself, that allowed me to understand the primal instinctual nature of movement at a much deeper level than I had experienced growing up, because it became something more than the movement. It became simply a way of life. And my experience as both a practitioner and as a guide and a coach over the years has really retained that exploration and that joy and that instinctual nature of being imaginative and being very spontaneous and being very adaptable and having a lot of confidence and trust in the strength and the power and the grace and the beauty of the human body. It's primal because it's something very essential and very simple, yet very innate to our nature. It's something that comes to us easily, and it's something that's very spontaneous and very adaptable to our circumstances and our environment. We find ourselves so distant these days from that primal purpose that we had for most of our evolution, and now with all these modern day conveniences and comforts, different kinds of modalities that makes things easier and easier, our bodies in a way become less and less in tune with our instinctual nature, which is to be strong and to be vibrant and to be vigorous and to be very adaptable to different challenges that we face in our environment. And if we can replicate that through our practice, even though we live in this modern container of comforts, then I think we can really experience our deeper selves in a very unique manner. It's really about remembering who we are as a human species. There's no set routine to the Primal Movers practice. It often begins with finding stillness and finding a connection with the natural surrounds and giving ourselves time to really experience our presence in the environment in which we're going to practice. It can often be in the form of a standing meditation, or it can be some basic breathwork practices. The method encourages a lot more spontaneous body awareness, and from there we can really tap into a lot more of the potentials that we have in a fluid manner. So if we're following the energies of the body in terms of where the body is looking to express itself and expose itself, then that can often inform the practice in a very meaningful and unique way that's often not immediately apparent to us in our thinking minds. A lot of my go-to practices involve combinations of strength and mobility and flexibility and general body awareness by using different objects that are found in nature. So trees, stones or rocks or fallen logs, embankments or rocky terrain. A lot of the fears and insecurities that we have in our mind are often imprinted in our bodies, and they often cause a lot of restrictions in our bodies and the way that we move. If we can kind of reverse this process by starting from the body and actually noticing where tension is in the body and how we can eliminate that from having a lot more spontaneity in our practice, then that can often help our mental state as well. It can allow our minds to rest and our minds to become a lot more resilient and overcome a lot of these fears that we hold in our bodies. Allow the body to really dictate what feels good and what feels free and what provides me with a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. And the body is really a beautiful lens on something a lot more profound and a lot deeper than I can find in conventional fitness or certainly in the gym environment. Being in a gym doesn't encourage adaptability in the same way that being out in nature and allowing our bodies to flow and to find harmony and to find its own tempo and its own sense of timing. And it's a different kind of sensation that you get from training on a machine or training with very smooth, soft weights or bars. Nature provides us with the ultimate playground, really, to experience so many different physical modalities in one. So we can be strong, we can be flexible, we can be mobile, we can be brave, we can be trusting, we can really utilize the potential of the body, and the intelligence of the body takes over when we're up a tree or when we're manipulating a heavy object. Our body seems to have an understanding of what to do. We eventually get to this stage where we realize that we are part of nature, we're not disconnected from nature. The deeper layer of that is that we are returning to our natural source of energy. We are healing ourselves from this disconnect each time we're out absorbing the weather, feeling the ground beneath our feet. Not always trying to protect ourselves from the elements. We're actually immersing ourselves in the elements, whether it's freezing cold water or whether it's hail or rain or snow or hot sunshine. We're allowing our bodies to adapt to the setting that we're in and realizing that our bodies do have a tremendous ability to be able to be strong and to thrive and to be present in all forms of weather. Nature become the teacher in a way. For me personally, spending an increasing amount of time in nature has allowed me to soften in a way my approach to the way that my masculine energy is expressed. From a female perspective as well, I see nature and practicing in nature as providing such a unique opportunity for more masculine strengths to really be exposed in more of an organic, natural setting. So as a male, we can learn to soften and really allow more patience and fluidity within our movement. And from perhaps a female perspective, we can actually learn to embody a lot more of that strength that we have through exposing ourselves to more of the masculine in ourselves. So we find ourselves returning to a more harmonious sense of being, and there's less of a need to follow a lot of the social conditioning